Good morning to you. Mark Sett with HurricaneTrack.com here in Dodge City, Kansas. The blizzard has pretty much wound down, so we're going to really focus now on that patchwork of just, wow, big winter storms, severe weather. We got stuff coming into the west too, don't want to ignore that. A full plate of major impact weather for you. Don't have a thumbnail for today. Doesn't matter, as my wife says, it will be okay. The point is we want to get this message out to you, just making sure people are aware of what's happening today. I mean, how can you avoid it? But still, going to do my job here and post this video, maybe point out a few things that you might not have thought of. And then we're going to take a look at the next few days, because we still have more in the pipeline. Hey, that's why it's pretty active out west. There's more storminess coming with all this Arctic air now settling into place and more to drain down into the lower 48 from our friends up in Canada. It's going to be pretty active for these next week to 10 days. All right. So this is the current setup. You can see over the east. What is all of this? Pretty much east of the Rockies, anywhere from wind advisories. That's a lot of the brown. Winter storm warnings, severe thunderstorm watches down here. Some severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning. You saw the tornado that came in to the panhandle of Florida near Panama City Beach area. This purple, that is one of the largest areas of storm warnings that I have ever seen. Not tropical storm, because this is not a tropical system, but storm warning. Winds in excess of 60 knots, if memory serves, right up to the coastline, and that is going to be a huge problem. So the first thing I want to point out and make sure people understand, today, tonight, and into tomorrow, the east, and then the east coast and the northeast, you're going to have the severe weather threat, but the wind and the rain, you're going to have a lot of power outages. Trees are going to come down, and then people in the northeast that are going to try to pump out any water that gets into their basement or other low-lying parts of their structures, you have to have electricity to do that. So you need to get some flood mitigation measures in place, whether it's our partner Quick Dam, which is available at Lowe's and Home Depot as examples, or whatever suits your needs. I want to make sure you're aware of this. You know, you might say, hey, I got a sump pump, no problem. Hopefully you got a generator too that can run it, because this is going to be a huge, huge part of this whole mess is the flooding up in the northeast, and then the power outages as well because of the winds. We're going to see certainly many wind gusts in excess of hurricane force when it is all said and done. So do not discount that part of this, the big wind field from this system. All right. So here's what we have out west. Another storm system coming in. Blizzard warnings in parts of Idaho. My red color goes right over it, so fun. And then the blizzard warning for parts of Washington and Oregon as well. Very cold even down in parts of southern Arizona and extreme southeast Nevada and southern California, it looks like, as the Arctic air is spilling in. And we don't want to leave out Hawaii. Did you see that there was a tornado warning? What was it, for Kauai, if I'm not mistaken, last night? Of all places, a tornado warning out in the Hawaiian Islands. What in the world? We're only 9 days into 2024. All right, so the satellite imagery, we're just starting to get sunrise here. This line, we call it the Terminator. That's true. I'm not making that up. The separation between daylight and nighttime. And you can see our mid-latitude cyclone, big old storm system curled up right here, huge comma shape. Subtropical jet feeding energy into it, the polar air coming down with energy from that part of the atmosphere, all of that with extreme diffluence where the air is spreading out. That helps to create lift in the atmosphere. Then you've got the shear, winds at different directions and different heights in the atmosphere, so you get shear like scissors, and the result, with instability in place, severe thunderstorms on the warm side, and then obviously on the colder side over here, snow, and we have seen blizzard conditions. Meanwhile, out west, here comes our next system, spiraling in, whatever you want to call it, with all kinds of weather associated with that, and that will help to seed our next big winter storm after we are done with the current one. I want to just show you real quick what's happening out my way. Here is Pratt, Kansas, and look, finally the snow moved in late yesterday afternoon and evening. Doesn't look too deep. You know, a couple inches here and there. It blew around a little bit. That's 400 that you see right there. And Not a lot of traffic. I don't know. Well, there goes a tanker, so maybe it is open. I haven't checked Kansas DOT thoroughly, but clearly no significant blowing snow issues on 400. This is just west of Pratt, Kansas. Another tanker. Hey, these guys and gals that do this run those trucks around. I know one got blown over on I-10 near Mariana from tornadic activity. You got to be careful out there. Some of these family-owned operations talk to each other. The big corporate gigs, you got to talk to those truckers too, and get radar scope for them. Give it to them as a gift card or something from Apple or Android or whatever the case may be. You got to stay informed. Meanwhile, where I am in Dodge City, we got a camera on a nice little heavy mount in the back of my truck. Got a nice rental, Toyota Tundra. Not a sponsor, just telling you, it's a good truck. It's been really hardy. I love it. And there is the Boot Hill Casino. This is some kind of an arena right over here, and that's my hotel right there. Finally, the snow stopped blowing. Beautiful blue skies. We can actually see the turbines that are around us, finally. And nice day shaping up here, although it's pretty cold. Garden City, it looks completely abandoned for the most part. Look at that ice-covered looking road there. The crews have done a great job, but that road does get slick. It's like an ice rink. I'm going to tell you what, I'm not going to lie to you. If I was behind this vehicle on a nice rope and a little toboggan or whatever dragging behind him going down here, the kid in me says, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. You have to admit that, that could be dangerous too. That's the dad in me. Probably wouldn't let my kids do it. But that's what it looks like out here. Wichita finally got some snow out of this. A lot of areas of Kansas did. I understand that parts of I-70 are still closed. If you're traveling through Kansas today, just check the apps, the Twitters, whatever, and be aware. All right, so that's what it looks like in Kansas. Here's what's going on with the severe weather threat for today. And this is very, very important. And these two areas here are where the strong tornadoes are more likely. That includes my hometown of Wilmington. Happy, right? I got to keep my family up to date on everything. But the southeast part here of South Carolina and North Carolina, not including Charleston proper, not right down to the coast, and maybe Wilmington will be okay. But I do worry about storms that come off the water. We saw that down here in Panama City area. The water doesn't always provide a safe haven with stability if these cells are ramped up already. So pay attention in the yellow and the orange coloring, and that includes all the way down into Florida. Our partner and friend of the project, CJ, out checking things out. He's got a live cam we're testing in Florida. He took the day off to do that, so we'll see CJ on top of it in Florida for us. All right, the high resolution rapid refresh, out to the next 18 hours. We can see the squall line outlined really well right here. So pay attention to what happens with this as I move this through frame by frame. Hopefully it'll work for me. And click on it. Nope, I don't want a sounding. I'm not used to this lower resolution laptop. I need that little arrow right there, and then we can start the process. Now, watch that squall line down there. It advances east. This is 1 p.m. Eastern time right here. So you see the Big Bend area of Florida. Just point some things out to you. Big Bend area of Florida, the thunderstorms coming in there. So Cedar Key, the Nature Coast down there, you're going to get rocked pretty good with this. Very strong winds, onshore flow, probably going to get some flooding and more damage there in Cedar Key and Horseshoe Beach where Idalia came through. I mean, these winter storms are potent. And then you can see the flow here coming up from the south. Some moisture and storms ahead of the main line. We'll have to see if any supercells develop, discrete storms. The line is bad enough, but you get those ones that come in that are discrete, kind of like what we're seeing here. And this gets close to the late afternoon. These individual cells that line up over the ocean, those worry me, because as those come on shore, like we saw near Panama City Beach, Panama City area, that can be a problem. And we had that in, I think, 2006. There was a supercell that came on shore in Brunswick County, and it went up to Riegelwood and created a very strong tornado, and there were actually fatalities from that. So the Atlantic Ocean, I think that was in November '06, does not always provide, even though it's colder, a stable environment. Sometimes the dynamics of the atmosphere sort of overrule that. So as we progress Again, there's that look. I don't like that. When you see those individual discrete storms, that's what you have to watch for. So you folks in eastern North Carolina, really pay attention to this. And then the line itself could have embedded areas of rotation within that line, and that can be problematic as you get tornadoes that spin up briefly, but potentially violently. And then I think the obvious thing, look at the fetch of moisture from this thunderstorm line that goes all the way from basically the dry Tortugas into the northeast with copious amounts of moisture, rain, heavy rain, and that is going to create flash flooding and overwhelming the system up there, and you better be ready. The power outages are going to be plentiful. If we scoot this back, look at all those isobars, these little lines in here, lines of equal pressure. That tells me, basic understanding of looking at a map of this nature, that is wind when they are that close together. A lot of wind. That's a southerly flow coming up in here. You're going to have beach erosion, big waves, Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, all the way, especially Long Island, and then up into parts of New England, Rhode Island, out into the Cape. Not good at all. So we scooch this through. The line finally clears Wilmington and vicinity, eastern North Carolina. I got kids and family all up through there, so it's going to be a heck of a day for sure of me keeping them posted. Finally, it clears the coast of the southeast, but in the overnight hours, I want you to pay attention to this right there. 4Z, that's still overnight. All right, so we're talking the middle of the night. We're going to have tremendous amounts of rain up here falling over snowpack, rapid melting, and you're going to have flooding at night. That is dangerous. So just please be aware. Keep your phone handy. Don't put it in airplane mode or whatever to get a good night's sleep. You want those EAS messages. You do. So this finally clears the whole area. Hold on, let's get this to work. Clears the whole area by tomorrow morning, just before sunrise. I say the whole area. It's close to it. Still eastern New England under the gun. This goes out to the next 18 hours. Let's go back to the 12Z because that'll give us 48 hours. So yeah, this goes through and finally clears the whole of the continental U.S. there later in the afternoon tomorrow, late day tomorrow. So a heck of a system as we just rewind it and show you. Yes, and even down here, I don't want to leave out Central Florida. Let's scooch this down a little bit more. Our friends near Orlando and elsewhere, Groveland, Karen, yeah, talking to you. I know you talk to your neighbors and friends down there, all the way down to Tampa, Sarasota, you name it. This line is going to push through. So if you're visiting the resorts, Orlando area, this is going to be one memorable day. I feel it. All right. So the overall big pattern, just wanted to show you the GFS here. This is from the 6Z run. Here's our current storm system, very well outlined in the global model. And all that deep colors you see in there, that's that rainfall rate, very heavy rainfall. There's the other system coming into the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be the catalyst for our next major storm system coming up. If we move this out into time, again, this is the rain rate that I see. As soon as I see that, I know that's bad. That's a lot of heavy rain. That's what that means. That's what the legend is. That's what it shows. Dr. Levi Cowan coded this map up very well so that we can just look at it and know, oof, that's a big storm system. So this clears the pattern. Then the next one sets up. See, that energy comes in from the Pac Northwest. And then the next one shapes up here down farther to the south in the Mississippi Valley, the mid-Mississippi Valley, and then a powerful storm system evolves up over the lakes. Blizzard conditions, almost a certainty. Look at that pressure, 970, 967 right there. Major lake effect problems up here over the weekend. I'm considering flying home Thursday, getting in the car, the Tacoma of mine, and then heading up here to Watertown. We'll have to see if I can do all that. Whew, a lot going on. And then another one coming in to the Pacific Northwest with crazy precip right up to the Cascades, the Olympics, down to the coast. Oh my goodness. I mean, what a pattern. People that were saying winter is canceled are gravely mistaken. And this is only the next 108 hours. If you're going out to the next few days after that, the potential for another system, and the Euro really ramps this one up. This is far out in time. And then the other thing I'm going to leave you with on this particular segment of the update, Look at the cold air. That's what this shows me right here. All the way down into Texas. Livestock problems, car problems, hopefully no moisture and ice and whatever like we had in 2021, but we don't know yet. This is still a week out. The deep freeze headed for the deep south. Last thing I want to show you. Here's today, and we already went over this, but I want to re-emphasize it. The orange, the yellow, especially the orange, the tornado threat, most significant in the areas. Let me just outline it for you. I'm going to use blue because it'll just show up better. This is where your most significant tornado threat is, and these are two distinct areas here. We talked about this when I showed you the high resolution model, and that's where you got to really pay attention. All right, the wind threat, I think that goes without saying, and then there could be some hail. 5% chance of hail. That is unbelievable for January 9th. It really is. Wow. All right, day 2, yeah, we get a little bit of a respite, just general thunderstorms way out west. But day 3, what? Are you kidding me? We got to do it again? Yes, we do. This time, interior parts of the Gulf Coast states, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, eastern Texas. We have to be watching for that. And then it just keeps on going. Yep, by Friday, that's day 4. That's the Friday outlook. We got to do it again, potentially in the same areas that were affected already today. So a lot of dynamics, a lot going on, and your job is to stay informed if you're in these areas. If you're in the middle where all that white is, you're pretty good for right now. But on the other parts there, the eastern, basically half of the country, pretty much east of the Rockies, right? You have got to pay attention. Stay on top of this. All the reasons I showed you, it's up to you. You've got the information, you've got the knowledge. Now you have to act and be ready to act if you need to. Got to keep you safe. Got to keep you safe, all right? All right, so I'm going to collect the equipment from out here today. I've got my friend and supporter of the project, Scott, with me. What a trooper. He's been helping me out with the camera shots, and we helped to get some people out of the snow last night. In fact, I want to show you that just real quick. I forgot about this, so now I'm just remembering. Here's a time lapse. One last thing, then I'll let you go. This is kind of cool. This is a time lapse from our camera that we had here in Dodge City. Look how fast. This is not like hours and hours. This is only a couple of hours. It goes from, oh, there was nothing on the ground, to straight up blizzard conditions within 90 minutes. Look at that. The visibility drops to less than a quarter mile. That snow and blowing snow stuck around for more than 3 hours. We had blizzard conditions here in the Dodge City area. It was remarkable to see. We got out last night once things were able to calm down a little bit, and drove around and got to see things up close and personal. Put the GoPro on the hood of the Tundra. Last night we did have the blowing snow. That's what that looked like. We were leaving our hotel parking lot area, the Boot Hill Casino and Arena. Pretty neat area. I think it's only a couple of years old, but look, this is that blowing snow that people talk about. This is just surface roads in and around the Dodge City area. And, not too bad. If you take your time, certainly was manageable, but it's very slick. It's like an ice rink underneath that packed down snow from the job that the snowplows were doing. So you just had to be careful. Use common sense, you'd be okay. Drove around, came across a couple of drifts. Here's one of them right here I'm coming up on. The scope of the GoPro doesn't give you a sense of scale, but that thing was about 2.5 feet thick and 10 yards, maybe more, wide and long or whatever. And I'm like, nah. I contemplated it, but even in that big old Tundra, it could get stuck, 4-wheel drive or not. So we decided to bail out and just keep on going. Show you a couple other scenes here. I'm going to fast forward. We headed over to the Walmart just to see what was happening over there. They had just closed up. Yes, it was open. People were shopping, even in these conditions right here. But they're prepared out here, most people. They know what's up. Then we encountered somebody that got stuck, and I almost want to put the music to yakety sax or something in here. It's not quite that dramatic or goofy, but it took a little bit of effort. This poor dude, you can see, 2-wheel drive, front-wheel drive car there. Not very easy. It took Scott and me and a couple other people about 10 minutes to get this person set free from the snow and slickness there in Dodge City, Kansas. We finally got the gent going, and he was very appreciative. And look, I'm like, all right, you're good to go. Nope. had to keep trying, and we finally got him out of there. Let me just scoot it forward. Look at all these attempts that just kept happening. We finally got him free. One more attempt there, and he was finally able to head on his way with the cold and blowing snow. Yeah, look at that. It's just over and over again. There we go. We got to let this get to its conclusion. Finally, off he goes onto that main street out there. I don't know where he was going. They got hills up in there, by the way. There's a lot of people struggling on hills. There he goes. He got set free, and he yelled a big thank you out his window. All right, now I can let you go. Let me just come back on so I can sign off properly. So yes, evidence of a very active weather pattern. Winter is here. The severe weather side, the blizzards, everything in between, the extreme cold. We'll be on top of it here at HurricaneTrack. Yes, we do off-season stuff. It helps us to get ready for the on-season, and we're going to talk about that once things calm down. All right, let's focus on winter and severe right now. Yes, I saw the new NMME. We'll talk about hurricane season stuff maybe next Monday or something. We'll see. Right now, we need to focus on this. All right? Again, sorry I don't have a thumbnail for you. I think it'll be fine. Just like, share, subscribe, as they say. Share the video. That would be great. And I'll do another one for you sometime tomorrow. Okay? And then I'll have a thumbnail. Get CJ to make it when he's not busy on the road. All right. From all of us at HurricaneTrack, thanks for watching. I'm Mark Sudduth. We'll do this again tomorrow.